This is Your Magnetic Purpose podcast, a new season focused on creativity and connection. We'll use tools like human design, tarot, and astrology, and see what happens when you let your natural rhythm lead. So let's dive in. Welcome back to Your Magnetic Purpose. In the last episode, we talked all about connection. How energy is not a feeling that we chase, but it is the energy that we meet, and how different types experience connection in their own unique way. And that's why relationships feel the way that they do. We all show up in our own unique presence. But today we're going to go a little bit deeper. In this episode, we are going to go into channels in the human design charts. This is the mechanics of connection between two people. It's the invisible architecture that explains why certain relationships feel steady, intense, familiar, or even a little bit chaotic. Channels are not as abstract as they may look when you're looking at your body graph chart. They can seem really confusing, and it's just like lines flying everywhere. But they're actually lived experiences that play out over time once you understand what you're actually looking at. In human design, a channel is a fixed flow of energy. It connects two centers to the chart, and it describes a consistent way that energy moves. When someone carries a full channel in their chart, that energy is self-sustaining. And they would say that this is something that feels very, very familiar to them. They would even say that it is something that feels like a personality trait to them, and it's something that they're aware of. There's also a certain type of energy within you that is unbeknownst to you. This is something that other people can see in you, but you wouldn't fully understand it until you witness it or is pointed out by somebody. And this is where your design chart comes in. These are our subconscious things. So together, a subconscious or a conscious trait can make up a channel. When two people come together, channels shape how they meet. Sometimes the channel already exists in one person, and sometimes it forms between two people when they connect with each other. And sometimes people only carry one part of that channel, but it's still present. And each of those create a very different relational experience that you're going to have with every person. Connection doesn't live in just one chart alone. It is alive between two people. And when you sit with someone and something shifts, that shift is very structural, and there is definitely a purpose for it. Channels explain why some connections feel like home, some feel activating, some feel stabilizing, and why some can just feel extremely challenging but very meaningful in the end. But none of this is accidental. It is all connected. Let's talk about electromagnetic connections. This happens when one person carries a gate of a channel and the other person carries the opposite gate. Together, they form a channel. This type of connection is often felt immediately. There's like a recognition there and a curiosity, and it's full of magnetism. People will often describe these connections as, I don't know why, but I just feel so drawn to you. Or have you ever met somebody and just have that feeling like you've known them forever? That is an electromagnetic connection. They bring about a sense of learning, they bring awareness, and they also bring a lot of movement. It's like that one gate was waiting for the other one to connect them so that things can really start flowing. It can feel really exciting and sometimes a little bit too intense, but it's always transformative. They're not meant to be casual. They're really meant to be felt between the two people. Another way that channels show up is through dominance. This happens when one person carries the full channel and the other person carries neither gate. In a relationship, one person brings a consistent way of being, and the other person experiences that energy when they're together. But dominance isn't about control. It's about influence, and it's the influence that connection has on the relationship. The person with the channel sets the tone for that area of life. The relationship organizes around that frequency. A good example of this is the 15-5, the channel of rhythm. This is a deeply magnetic energy, and it can pull others into your rhythm and your greater flow of life. The dominance of that connection is to lead the timing and the direction in that relationship. These connections can feel stabilizing. They can also feel educational, but they show us that energy is meant to be felt between two people. Next, there is the compromise channels. These are an area where two individuals have defined channels that could potentially clash. This occurs when one person carries a complete channel and it is formed by two gates in their chart, while the other person only carries one of those gates in the channel. A compromised connection can teach us a lot about patience, and it asks for a ton of awareness and a healthy dose of boundaries. But one of the most grounding realizations about channels is that connection changes depending on who is present. A relationship can feel one way when you're alone and entirely different when other people enter the space. When new people join the field, a new channel is activated and then new dynamics start to emerge. This is why some relationships feel a little bit different in private than they do in public, and why some partnerships thrive in a certain environment, and context really matters here. In a romantic relationship, channels often explain attachment patterns. Some channels create bonding through intimacy, some through shared direction, some through emotional depth, and some through survival and growth. When a relationship feels hard to leave, oftentimes it's because a channel is bringing that energy together, and it's almost like it's just something that you can't pull apart from each other. When an relationship feels easy but not very deep, often fewer channels are activated in the couple's chart. Neither is wrong, they're just simply different experiences. Channels are just as powerful in business and creation. They also explain why certain collaborations bring out the best work and why some projects feel alive while others stall and kind of fizzle out. It's always a good idea when you're working with someone new to look at the channels that your new partnership or creation is going to have together. And it's not to judge the connection, but it's to understand how it wants to function. Can their strengths help your weaknesses and vice versa? That clarity is going to save you a lot of time and a ton of emotional labor. Now, in human design, compatibility isn't just like the way that pop culture thinks it is. There's no perfect match or an ideal chart, but there is awareness. Some channels can bring a sense of ease, some bring growth, some bring completion, and some can bring really stark contrast. All of them are to teach us something while we're on this journey through life together. And when people start to understand channels, they stop personalizing everything. They think, why do some things feel different in person? Or why are relationships so intense? Why can't they show up the same way here? But when you understand the channels, it removes all of that shame and that questioning in your head. It gives language to an experience, and it also helps to give structure to an emotion, and it brings a lot of honesty. This is why I offer the connection report. Because once you can see the channels in the relationship, it stops being confusing. Whether, again, it's romantic, business, creative, personal, whatever. We look at how the energy moves and what connections support, and also what is asked of you in this connection. That is where awareness comes in, and it helps to change how you choose and decide what is the best flow of energy for this partnership. So, in the next episode, we'll talk about the love gates. These are the different types of love, the different expressions of devotion, and the different ways that people bond. This will bring everything together, and it will start to make sense when you're looking at your connections or your friendships, your business partnerships, or even just the way that you're looking at your art. So for now, notice the connections in your life. Which ones feel really activating, which ones feel grounding, and what ones just feel really unfinished. There is a ton of useful information there. So thanks for being here, and I will see you in the next episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to like, share, and subscribe wherever you stream your podcast. For more resources and tools to explore human design, tarot, and astrology, head over to yourmagneticpurpose.com and book a live one-on-one reading or download your free chart. Remember, the more that you align with your purpose, the more opportunities you attract.